So let's just say 3 to 4 water bottles in the morning. You do not have caffeine? Or do you have caffeine?
You know what? It really depends. I'm steering away from caffeine now. So for example, I don't know if you know this trick, but I was doing this. I was trying to lose, more weight, like burn more fat. And a way that you can do that is actually consuming coffee, but it has to be a cup of boiling water. And then obviously instant coffee, you take 1 tablespoon of instant coffee and you add like maybe a little pinch of like cinnamon. And then you add half of a juice of lime or lemon, whichever one you have. You add it in there, you stir it. It's not tastes great, but if you're like a coffee drinker who drinks just black coffee, you're going to be used to it. It's just going to have like that acidic taste because of the lemon. Yeah. But you do that and it literally removes toxins. It sends you to the bathroom. It gives you that energy that you're looking for. But at the end of the day, once you start doing it too consecutively, it's going to impact your body in a way that it's going to be too much, you know? So you got to do it for like a certain amount of time and then kind of steer away from it. So I did it for like about a month. I lost like 15 pounds. Really? And it really, if you're keeping it consecutive, because remember, you can do that, but then if you eat whatever comes to mind throughout the day, it's not gonna affect you at all. But if you're keeping it consistent, watching your portions, watching what you eat, drinking the right juices, drinking enough water, then definitely, you'll definitely see the results as quick as possible. And it's so natural that you're going to think, oh, but I don't think it's going to work. I think it's fake. No, if you really keep consecutive every morning, and it's like supporting your immune system with the apple cider vinegar. Remember? That was like really popular back then. Yes. A lot of people steered away from it. People who actually keep doing it, and they cycle throughout because you do it for like a month and you stop doing it for like a couple back to it. Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. But you get used to it. A lot of people don't like black coffee, but they do it for a certain amount of time and then they actually enjoy the natural taste of black coffee.
I don't enjoy it. I just deal with it. Yeah.
Just gulp it down.
Nice and slow. It's an acquired taste. Yeah.
Yeah. But my point was also, if you're consuming black coffee every morning, it's acidic. So it's going to do you good for like the first hour, maybe 2 hours, maybe your whole morning. But after it's like that withdrawal symptom. Once that caffeine's out, you're going to feel like, all sluggish and you're going to need more. And then it starts becoming more addicting. That's why coffee is so addicting, because it's caffeine. Caffeine's always addicting, no matter what, sugar, anything. So once you start drinking coffee every single time, you're going to depend on it. So then once you start depending on it, that's a problem.
What about espresso? Same thing.
You have espresso?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually worse. So it's stronger. So the only reason I say it's worse and it's too acidic is because it has an impact on your liver. So once you're like stressing your liver out to the point where it's too much acidic content, you definitely want to steer away and kind of give yourself a little detox here and there. So right now, what I'm doing is I steered away from coffee completely. And what I'm doing is just drinking water in the morning, and then having like this juice in the morning, and just feeding off of that. So then once 2 o'clock or 2:30, maybe 3 o'clock, once that hits, now I'm craving something to eat.
Because I definitely want to try your juices. I'm very excited. And considering they taste good, and I'm used to my black coffee, and I'm sure it'll taste much better than that.
You should try, if you're really, I don't know are you like huge coffee drinker? So
good question. And I meant to say it earlier. I had one of those, cheap coffee makers, and then I would get the grounds from ShopRite, and I would mix it in. And what happened was it was so efficient that I ended up drinking like, I don't know, 40 to 60 ounces of black coffee. Yeah. That's
a lot.
A lot, because it was just like, hey, the whole thing was there and it kept me up. Yeah. And then after a while I noticed, I was like, it doesn't feel right. Like it's like I'm doing something to my insides here. And eventually I got a fancy coffee maker, which I'm probably not going to use as much anymore because I got it as a present. And
right.
But then I was like, okay, this is good. Now it costs me like $1 a pod. So I'm not going to just abuse that because it adds up quick. So now I only have like 16 ounces of coffee a day. So I scaled it back.
Recommend.
And
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's a positive, but I really want to try I might try your technique And I've definitely heard of lemon as well, like a lemon with the water. So it seems like that's a good combo. And then, because I like the water in the morning, I like your coffee idea. And then I would like to not have any more coffee because it is hard to go to bed sometimes when you have caffeine later in the day.
Too much caffeine. If you're really looking to consume coffee but kind of leave it at the same time, there's one thing that I do that actually I've been doing recently. And since I've been leaving it day by day, it's really interesting because the way that I consume it, a lot of people don't consume it. So I actually get the coffee beans, and there's a lot of things that I wanted to say while you were explaining that. For example, the pods, remember, they're filled with plastic. So it's like you're burning with the hot water that's going through it. You're getting the residue of that plastic as well. So you're consuming plastic at the same time. Make sense?
I'm returning it.
So in this case, I really don't recommend those like little pods. If you can steer away from it and just keep it as natural as possible, better. And also instant coffee, I do not recommend at all. Remember, this is my personal intake on it, but if you really do your research and you start to like investigate a little bit more, you'll see why I say it. But in this case, instant coffee can be mixed with anything and you won't know what's in it because it's instant coffee. It's like in powder, it's like not powder, but it's grinded up. You have no idea what they grinded up into it. It could be like the most filthiest thing, but the color of it's always going to remain the same. And they're just going to be like, oh, it's just mixed, it's mixed instant coffee. You're never going to know what's in it. And there's a comparison that I saw a few days ago. It was on social media. I forgot what it was, where it was, but it was a video of a comparison between instant coffee and then actual beans. And then when they grind up the beans and then the difference between the instant coffee that they sell versus the grinded up beans that were freshly grinded. Completely different. But if you can get like one of those coffee grinders and buy actual whole beans, you'll start to see like a huge difference in your intake of coffee. For example, the way I drink coffee is I have these whole beans. I forgot where I bought them, where I purchased them, but they're Colombian whole beans. And I would put it in like the little coffee grinder, and then I would add star anise and a cinnamon stick to it. And it's just like the taste is phenomenal. I think it's amazing. And it doesn't make me want to crave more and more and more. Because it's like as soon as I drink like that portion, like let's say like 12 ounces of that, it's so strong that I don't want anymore. It just leaves me like content.
Where do you get these cinnamon sticks?
It's just like